Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, my pronouns are she, her. Follow along this channel for more plus size yoga videos. So for this video, we're going to sit on the floor and we're going to do some kneeling. So if you have sore knees, maybe you want to put a blanket or a pillow underneath your knees for this practice. You could also fold your yoga mat in half and have that part where it's like double layer underneath your knees. We're going to start by sitting down. So sit down in any way that you like. Noticing how this feels for you. Noticing what's happening in your body. Noticing what's the temperature of your body like today. Just exploring what's going on physically with you. I have two chairs here. We're going to use a chair in this practice. We really only need one, but I have one on either side of my mat so I can turn around when I face the other direction and use the other chair. But again, you can just use one. I also have these blocks. They're optional. Maybe you want to bring one hand down to the floor, raise the other hand up, take a breath. And then lower it down. We can do the same thing on the other side. Hand down, raising the other one up. Noticing how this feels. We can stretch our legs out in a V shape. Maybe you want to take one hand. I'm going to start on the left side, lowering my hand down that leg, raising the other one up towards the sky, looking up. And then we're going to bring that hand down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Lowering that hand down, raising the other one up. And then lowering that down. From here, let's go into a kneeling position. So we're going to be in tabletop, which is on all fours. So I have these blocks, and I like to put them on the medium height underneath my hands because that puts less pressure on my wrists. But you can also put your hands on the ground. If your hands are on the ground, explore sort of what feels better, your shoulders directly over top of your wrists or a little bit back. You can also keep your legs a little bit wider for more stability. And here, maybe we want to think about pushing our butt up towards the sky. That might lower our bellies and we can look up. Inhale, and then exhale, round your back, head down between your arms, tucking your butt under. And you can alternate here. If this doesn't feel good on your hands, you could also put your forearms on a chair and you can do the same thing. If you're not quite at the same angle, but you can still push your butt out, tuck it under, look through your arms, and look out in front. And then after a few of these, we're going to think about bringing our butt back towards our feet. You might notice that your belly meets your thighs. So what you can do is you can take your knees out to the side, bring your toes back towards one another. I like to push my belly in towards the center of my body. And you can come down onto your forearms if that feels okay, and bring your head down towards the ground. You could also bring your hands up to a chair if that feels better than lowering down. The big thing here is knees out to the side is going to get that space for your belly. You'll be able to breathe. You might feel more of a stretch in your hips. And then we can slowly come up out of that, coming back into our tabletop. And what we're going to do is we're going to come to sit or sort of kneel on our knees, facing forward. And we can have one chair beside us. We're going to take one foot, bringing it out towards the side of the body. You can have your foot flat, or you can have your heel up, or heel on the ground, toes up. You choose. I'm bringing one hand down to this chair because it helps a little bit with balance. And what we can do is we can raise the opposite arm up, option to look up. And then we can lower that hand down. This time maybe we want to lean to keep our torsos a little bit straighter. We can raise the opposite arm, bring the other hand down that leg. Breathing. Maybe I'm a little more wobbly here. And then bringing that hand back down. We'll bring that in. We're going to do that on the opposite side. So you can either turn around. I'm just going to switch to the opposite chair. So we're bringing the opposite hand to the chair. You can bring that opposite leg out to the side. Taking a breath here, and we can lean into that chair, raising the hand up towards the sky. Again, option to have your heel on the mat, toes up, or foot flat on the mat, whatever feels better here. And then we can bring our torsos up a little bit straight. This time bring the same hand as the leg, bringing it down the leg, raising the other hand up towards the sky. Lowering that hand back down. And maybe this time we want to come back onto our knees. We can take a second here. We're going to come back into that puppy / child's pose variation. So we have the option of our hands or our forearms on the chair or on the ground. We can think about our hips being really wide. And maybe we want to come onto our forearms, looking down, breathing, or again, maybe we want to have our forearms on the chair and we're looking through our arms. Either way, try to keep your knees really wide. And you can push your belly towards the inside. Taking a breath. And then we'll come back to our tabletop. And again, we can do hands on the ground for our cat-cows. So thinking about your tailbone and your butt coming up, looking forward, and then tucking that tailbone under, looking down. So we arch our spine as we move our tailbone out, and around our spine as we tuck our tailbone under. And again, we can do this on forearms on the chair. That might take pressure off your hands and wrists. Breathing here. And then we'll come back to sit down where we were before. Taking a second here to breathe and notice how our bodies are feeling. Maybe we want to come back into a butterfly pose. We haven't been here before. We can push our belly towards the center, away from our legs. Breathing here. Let's raise our hands up towards the sky. We can hinge forward at the hips, bringing the hands down towards the ground. Exploring how this feels. And then maybe we want to slowly start to sit up again. Let's twist so we can bring one hand towards the other leg or the other side of the belly, bringing the opposite one behind, looking over that back shoulder. Taking a few breaths. And then coming back to center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So bringing this opposite hand around. Bringing this hand to the back. And then coming back to center. Taking a breath here. Maybe doing some neck rolls one way. Some neck rolls the other way. Pausing to take a breath. Notice how you feel after that movement. Were there any that you enjoyed or any that you didn't enjoy? Just reviewing what that experience was like for you. So thank you so much for this practice. Again, follow along for more plus size yoga videos.